Right, hi, good afternoon everybody. This is Cliff Graves from Crew Speaks Out, from a very dark, wet, horrible, raining West Midlands. As I was walking out with my dog over the park, it started to rain. And it started to rain heavily. As I walked round, because that didn't stop me, but as I walked round with the dog, I thought to myself, why is everybody running for their cars? All the children over the park on the swings, sprinting for their cars in the car park. And yet I'm the only lone bod walking around still in the rain. Why are people giving me peculiar looks? And it suddenly dawned on me. Because you muppet, you're walking around in the rain, getting wetter and wetter and wetter. And I thought, what a planker I am. But this is the philosophy of Army bootcamp training. What they're trying to do is to emulate, which they'll never be able to do, military physical training, military PT. And it doesn't cut the mustard. If you're in the forces, you're in the Army, Royal Marines, you're an infantryman, you will have to train to any weather, albeit blustery wind, torrential rain, insanely hot sun. Look at Afghanistan. Insanely desert-like hot sun, blizzards, sand blizzards, snow. Look at some of the Marine Corps. I had a friend served out in Norway, and he came back off leave, and it was way back in 1984, the winter, just before Christmas time, the winter of 1984. And there I was with scarf, woolen hat on, gloves, and he's walking around in a t-shirt. I said to this guy, aren't you cold? He said, you don't know the meaning of cold. So, the point I'm making here, right, is if you are a military man, then you're going to need to be able to train in all weathers. That nice assault course needs to be got over in all weathers, rain, snow, you name it. Because if you're in battle and it's torrentially raining, you don't think the enemy is going to say, oh, give them a chance, lads, stop, blow the whistle, hang on a minute, let's give it 50 minutes and we'll start again, because it's torrential rain, lads. Yeah, cheers for that, Mr. Enemy, thank you very much, nice one, appreciate it. Of course they're not. If you're a rugby player, then yeah, okay, alright. You know, you'll play out in all weathers and mud and slush, and get trodden on when you're falling over and etc, etc, etc. Fine, fair enough. But not for a civilian. It's not for a civilian. Who wants to go over a park and train in the afternoon? I'm looking at it now. Who wants to get down and do press-ups, and then get down and do sit-ups, and then do squat thrusts, and then do burpees, star jumps, sprints in this type of weather? Invariably, these boot camps can only be run early in the morning, in the evenings, or at the weekends. Now, the only possible chance that you're going to get, it could still, like it is now, at the weekends, be dark and miserable at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, couldn't it? The point I'm making here is not only do you have to contend with the weather takes command. Because of the time, specifically during the week, most of us work 9 to 5, most of us, 9 to 5. And most of us will want to be doing our training in the evening, post finishing our day's work, not at the start of the day. Some will. And some resilient civvies will train out in the rain, but not the great masses. I can tell you that, not the great masses. That's the first thing. The second thing you've got to consider when you're over in a park is, guess what? The dark. Especially in the winter time, the dark, yes. Now, okay, people might bring lighting out and, lamps and things like that. But do you want to train in a park that is dark? The other thing that you've got to take into consideration is free, F-R-E-E, not the number 3, free running dogs off the lead. Though there are dogs and there are dog owners that aren't well behaved. I was over the park and we met this lovely little Yorkshire Terrier, and just as the weather started to break and the woman said, "I'll see you," I said, "See you later," sort of thing. Little Westie Terrier. And we had a lovely chat. And we was able to let the dogs off the lead. I've got a big Bouvier de Flandres, so it was towering over this little Westie. Okay? And they got on fine. But I can tell you, I've been a postman, I've been a milkman, okay? I know how some dogs are. And some dogs can be flipping vicious. And see you as a threat. If you're running around, they'll come after you. And the owners, whether they're a bit dense or whatever, won't do a thing. You run the risk of getting bitten. So there's that other risk element. You've got the bad weather, you've got the darkness, you've got the dogs free running off their leads. Talking about the dogs, you've got to remember, irresponsible dog owner. It's in the dark, or it could be during the day. Nobody about, the dog does its business, okay, and it is left, which I think is terrible. I've been across the park that I go, and there's football posts, and there's a kiddies playground. It's a very frequented park, playing fields park, and some obnoxious individuals decide to let their dog go to the lavatory, okay, and you understand what I mean, I'm sure, and just leave it there. So that's the other thing. If that's there on the ground, you are not going to want to do squat thrusts down on the deck with that nearby, I can tell you. Yes, you might try and clear the area before you start, but there's always the element of missing something. And the final thing is, some of these parks where you're going to be training, your vehicle is going to be a bit of a walk away. Not a massive walk away, but we're talking perhaps 50 meters, 100 meters away. Now that is not good for anybody. And I pick my words subtly here, because I don't want to offend anybody, but for females, a young female on her own, walking back to her car, post army boot training, hopefully somebody was going to escort her back, and you know how it is, that didn't happen, and she has found herself on her own. For some of the walk, not all of the walk, some of the walk. You all started off walking back to your cars, and then you split your different directions, and she had a remaining 30 meters to walk to the car. It's pitch black, but there's trees all around, and somebody's laying in wait for her. She's got all those things crossing against army boot training. Now, I picked on army boot training quite robustly. The good of army boot training, however, is in the summertime. It's group orientated. It can be very full on. The training can be very full on and tough and hard. But on a summer's afternoon, it's great. An evening, it's fantastic. Exhilarating and exciting, and you will get results. And it's actually very cost effective. But if you want to train all year round, forget army boot camp training. And anyone that tries to tell you differently, okay, the answer is, well, that's good for you, but I don't think it would sit very well for me. There are the diehards that will be out there 365 days of the year, 3 times a week, 3 evenings a week, rain, sun, shine, whatever. Dog excrement, they don't care. They're the tough hard nuts. They're toughening themselves up. What for, I don't know, because they're civilians. You take my point. So, if you want real training by real fitness coaches that are going to bring out the best in you, intelligent, expert, top-notch physical fitness training, then you've got to come to the II crew, because we are the bods that you need to be training. No army boot camp training, although we do have ex-servicemen that are our trainers, okay, fitness trainers. So you can have it as tough and as hard and as rough, tough as you want. But we're intelligent, and we try not to, should I say, train out in the rain or the pitch black. Thank you for listening. You know where to go to find us, www.iicrew.com by now. See you there. This is Cliff from II Crew, and I'm out of here. Ciao.